Hey peeps, my name's Cam. Here, welcome to Make. Just finished an upper body sesh, targeting our lower muscles because I'm feeling the fatigue now. And in today's video, I want to discuss a little bit about mental health, because I know a lot of us have been through different experiences that sometimes it's quite hard to stay motivated. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips that I use to help ground myself, stay focused, and all that. So with that session hit, definitely feeling a lot lighter. And my first tip would definitely be finding something that works. Now that can be quite a broad statement to put out there and quite vague, but the way I look at it is, I know that what helps me focus is focusing on others, but only to an extent. So for example, when it comes to supporting other people with their fitness goals or their life goals, I'll focus on them for so much of my time, and of course I'll divide up my time, so I get myself in there too. But because I'm focusing on other people's conditions, both physically and neurologically, I'm investing so much time into that, I don't have time to overthink and put myself off, with procrastinating and avoiding things I want to do. Seems a bit vague, but that's what works for me. Finding that bit of time to learn about a new condition, learn about a new defect or a new impairment or something to help somebody with their development and achieving their goals. And they can be big or small, but as long as I'm focused on that, it keeps me distracted from any of the issues I might be going through myself. But like I said, it's always good to divide up the time, so of course you get me time as well. Otherwise you'll suffocate yourself with way too much workload, which we've all done. But it's definitely best just to focus on things one at a time, pace yourself out, divide your time up and go from there. Let's go sit over here actually. I'll talk to you over here, because I don't usually talk in public, and I think it's better for my anxiety levels actually. So this is actually another tip I could throw in there, is pushing yourself out there, so you're out of your comfort zone a little bit. So for example, taking a seat on a bench and just chilling really in Gloucester, which I don't usually do. It's a bit weird, but it puts me out of my comfort zone and helps me with my anxiety to help lower that a bit. It sounds a bit ironic, but the more you do things that push out your comfort zone, the easier things will be in time. Of course, things won't happen the way you want it to straight away. It might take a few attempts, but the more you practice, the easier it will be. So yeah, so sitting here right now, I could think, okay, cool, people are looking at me, thinking I'm a bit weird. But how many people do you know nowadays that you follow and watching YouTube? So when you put it in that perspective, actually, I might look different to every single person I can see around me right now, but if I'm a content creator then if anything, it will just spark curiosity. People will be like, okay, what's your channel? What do you do? I even had a gentleman earlier when I was walking to the gym say to me, oh, you're in great shape, mate. And I said, oh, thanks, appreciate that. He said, what can I do to lose my stomach? And I said, well, it comes down to diet, a few other factors, but just focus on yourself and stay on the goal. And even if it takes you a month or a year to see any progress, it's progress. Yeah, so stepping out your comfort zone, that's definitely another one I'd put out there for a top tip. And actually, whilst I'm here, another tip would be to jot things down. So your successes and your perceived failures. Because we've all been there where we're like, okay, I've messed up on that, or this situation is shit, it's not moving anywhere. But remember, things take time, and it's taken me time to grow this channel. It's taken me time to develop the confidence to record in public. I mean, I'm literally here on a bench right now in Gloucester. Like, it's taken me time to develop this, confidence to do this. So, things will take time, It's like, someone just glanced at me and I was just carrying on. Like, you just got to put yourself out there and, take note of your successes, because we're all our own boss, really. It's just sometimes we get lost in realizing that actually I can influence a lot of my life and what I want to do. Of course, some things might happen that you can't control, but you can always control how you respond to it, whether that's through anger, upset, happiness. But you just got to take control and remember to take control of that, because we can all do it, even though it can be hard at times. We can all do that. So you've just got to take a step back and analyze it to a degree, not overanalyze, and say to yourself, actually, do you know what? I can control my reaction. Because the way I look at life is 90% what happens to you. No, I got it wrong. So the way I look at life is it's 90% of what you do about something and 10% of what happens to you. So you just got to practice, just go with the flow and see how you get on. And actually, the more I sit here, the less anxious I feel about it, to be fair. But the weather is phenomenal, to be fair. I'm recording this on a Sunday. You're watching this Monday, the day after me recording this. And yeah, it's very, very chill. Everyone's enjoying the weather, and good vibes. Yeah, I'm gonna chill here for a little bit, absorb the warmth and the rays, because I don't really chill out and about. I'm always working, taking responsibility, training. I've been slacking out that a little bit, to be fair, recently, but I'm slowly picking it back up. But yeah, definitely, getting there. And oh wow, I've just had some good news that somebody I know has won her competition. So yeah, that's really good. It's a bodybuilding competition, and yeah, that's really good news. So yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna chill for a bit, and I'll get back to you for my final tip when it comes to the old mental health check. So another tip is to simply take your time. Now you can apply this to when you're learning something, or even when you're talking. Of course, when we get anxious, myself included, we might talk quite quickly, but learn to take your time. So for example, during my early vlogs, I was very anxious going out in public, recording, talking to camera, setting up my tripod in the gym. However, now, over time, I've learned to take my time when I speak. And there's still the odd time when I'm a bit like, oh, I'm in public. But I'm a lot better, and it's taken time to learn different coping strategies to get my content made. So for example, when I'm out in public, if I've been a bit anxious to record to camera, I think to myself, right, how can I control this anxiety? So one of the ways I overcame the anxiety in public was, as I left my car to walk to the gym, it's about a 2-minute walk. And I thought, do you know what? I'm very anxious. I'm gonna hit record and hold the camera in front of my face. as I walk to the gym. Now, there were a couple of times when I didn't say anything to the camera, but it forced me to hold the camera in front of my face. And if I felt like talking, the camera's there. Otherwise, I'd walk with the camera in my bag. I wouldn't take it out of my bag at all until I get into the gym. And then even then I would be in my head thinking, I don't want to take the camera out of my bag. So sometimes applying a little bit of, I wouldn't say pressure, but applying some of the nudging the comfort zone for yourself can really, really help. And there's plenty of different things that will work for you, for me, some things that might not work for you or for myself. But you test things and see what works for you. So now I can take this camera, I can walk out in public and talk to it like I did earlier in this video. And even earlier, I felt a tad anxious, maybe 10%, compared to a year ago when I would have been in the 80s. So definitely take your time with whatever you're doing, whether it's talking, learning a new skill, even going out of your way to help a friend. Take your time and don't rush. It seems a bit vague, but that's now there's so for example, taking a seat on a so if we start if I thank you so much for watching, and if you go, that wraps up another video. So thank you so much for watching, and please leave a like and subscribe because that will really help the algorithm as well. I will see you on the next video, so please take care, much love, and together we'll make the movement. YouTube's going to recommend a video just over there, so go check it out, and if you click just over there, you can subscribe too. I'll see you on the next one.